Hello, my name is Mary Wollstonecraft, a philosopher and English writer, and I'm going to talk about myself. To be honest, I regard myself as a clever, mob-minded and brave woman, but very different to others of 18th century. My major concern was to reach the independence of women, trying to challenge conventionally established. In fact, I had been myself as a tower of strength and eloquence due to my proposals on women's rights and my beliefs. As I said before, as a Republican, I've been strongly believed in the power of human reasoning to reform society and in the belief that women require education and rights in order to achieve their independence and escape from the habitual management by men against the social inequalities. In this sense, they have been my powerful tools and my tireless struggle in favor of fundamental rights. Let's talk about my childhood and youth. I was born into a family with a stable economic financial position, but my father ended up squandering the family savings. Also, he used to drink and beat my mother, an incident that truly marked my childhood and youth as a person. For that reason, I was deeply attached to my sisters and friends. One of them was Jane Arden, whose father was a philosopher, crucial in my decision to become a writer. However, with Fanny Blood, both came to develop a life plan together, truly transgressive for that age, with mutual support economically and emotionally. Although she was unable to overcome her illness and sadly she passed away. After that, in order to carry on my life, I began working as a governess for a distinguished family, but I have always been quite atypical with the education I imparted. As a result, I wrote Reflection on the Education of Daughters in 1787 and Original Stories of Real Life in 1778, my only work of children's literature. Later, I worked as a translator and I published A Vindication of Right of Men in 1790, where I heavily attacked the hereditary rights and the aristocracy, defending the republic. To tell the truth, to be honest, I have been very untypical living my life, which has been more relevant than my own work, due to my unconventional relationships. After two failed romances, I married with the philosopher William Godwin, with whom I had my daughter Mary Shell. After the publication of the memoirs by my husband in 1798, as I said before, even my reputation was questioned at first due to my relationships. Unfortunately, I died at the age of 38 due to complications from the birth of my second daughter, Mary Shell, for whom I have been her true mentor. Later, she was renowned for being the celebrated author of Frankenstein. Regarding my work, I took the decision to write hurriedly A Vindication of Right of Woman. After having read the French Inform, we support that women should be educated only in domestic aspects, which seemed to me hard to swallow. Although I have spent my life claiming equality between the sexes, I tend to be so critical about women's weaknesses and the participation in our own oppression because men were prone to use us as merely alluring lovers instead of being considered by our rational beings and value. What I like most about this book, about this masterpiece, are my reflections that women should be considered as human beings with rights and that we have the same capacities and abilities to develop as men. And my explanation goes as women are not inferior to men by nature, but it appears to be so because they don't receive the same education. For that reason, it was imperative that women in that age were educated as workmates to their husband instead of being seen as merely decorative elements of their own interest in a marriage. As a result, this book laid the foundation for liberal feminism, which made me deem it as a humble and stellar woman in Europe at the time, because the quality for women grew in importance. So I reckon that presently women wouldn't be able to take part in society and be present in as many different leading areas as men had a woman as me known they existed. Without a shadow of a doubt, I had been a beacon for youth in the world which still prevails.